Hi and welcome. Today we will look at Wireshark. So today's course is a continuation of the last course I created about network and how it worked. I called it 101 something like introduction or something like that, right? So today we're gonna do like the 102, I guess you can call it. So we're gonna look at a package flow from a browser, and let's analyze how the HTTP traffic works. Let's look at the TCP protocol. Let's look at the different other things we see in Wireshark. Now, this is not going to be an extensive or advanced course in network traffic analysis or anything like that. We're just looking and verifying and trying to understand that a protocol is not that difficult to understand. It is basically just some clear text, in most occasions running through the network cables from the server to the client, or from the server to the clients in plural, right? So I prepared my Wireshark already. I have installed on my computer, and depending on which operating system you're on, Wireshark can be a bit different from time to time. Sometimes you are allowed to packet capture and sniff the traffic. I think some Windows machines got some problems, and then you need to install something. From my experience, Wireshark is pretty good telling you that when you install it. So, and if it doesn't, please go to Google and look for Windows solutions for Wireshark. Anyways, so I already found a web page that I'm gonna try and browse. I'm just gonna show it. It's a web page in Denmark, and it's running HTTP traffic. So this is a non-secure website. So it got no SSL certificate or TLS certificate, we would say today. As we can see here, it also tells me that it's a non-secure site. Now, I'm not gonna do anything with it or log in or anything. I'm just gonna hit enter, reload the page, capture the traffic in Wireshark, and let's look at what happens. Okay, so basically I'm gonna start Wireshark. So continue without saving. I'm gonna pull in my browser, update it once, and let's see, I should get the package. Maybe I changed the interface. Let's just see, since I went to my VPN. So let's see, what could it be? Yeah, so I listened to the wrong interface, and that is of course something that can happen. Let me just show you what I did to correct the errors. I'm gonna close this down, and this is all my interfaces that I have, and depending on your machine and your configuration, you might have more or less. So basically, without choosing every single one of them, you can just choose all of them and just click the blue shark fin in the left corner like this, and then you start to listen for the HTTP traffic. Then I'm gonna pull in my, and by the way, maybe I should mention that this is the filter up here, and if you look at that and you just press enter, you will see a lot of traffic just going down, and already just in the flash we're already at package 12,000. Now I'm gonna put in HTTP as my filter, and then whatever HTTP traffic I listen to. So I'm gonna hit enter, get it, and go back. I'm gonna stop listening to traffic, because what I really just wanted was the two packages, the request and the response from the HTTP protocol. So the very first one up here that I select, it is called package 19,163, and the response is with the package number 19,499. So in between that, a lot of other packages were sent. Now I have some other things running on my computer, so that might be the cause for the many packages in between. So really what I look at here is the first one. I can double click if I wish to, and a window open, and then I can analyze every single protocol or the HTTP protocol and so on. I can also just click it once, and the window below here will show me the same that I just saw when I double clicked it. The window below here with all the hexadecimal notations and the roughly translated for, I guess they use some normal ASCII Unicode, something maybe. It's just, you can see that the different things, what it kind of translates to, and I know this is in Danish, but you probably know that this is letters, I guess, and then you can see, oh, there's a user agent, so that part there is the user agent. So basically already now you should have the understanding that, oh, a package, that is just a lot of data, and without knowing how to interpret that data, you do not know what the data is for. So this could be an image, it could be like, you know, a dot, it could be a small GIF, it could be a part of the protocol. You really don't know. So let's look at the very first request. This is the first package that I sent. So when I pressed enter in the browser for this web page, I sent an HTTP request. It was a GET request because I did it from the URL bar, which is always a GET request. So I gotta press it, and the very first one, from, well, the bottom down, you can say, you can see the HTTP protocol. I can open this. Then I can see that the very first request is what I just told you. It's a GET request for this, well, Børnehave, whatever, how you're gonna pronounce it, but Børnehave, I guess, in English, yeah. And it is the HTTP protocol 1.1, and this is the host, the connection, and everything is just, oh yeah, this is the HTTP request, just a normal HTTP request for this resource using the method GET on the HTTP protocol. We can also see that I have a user agent here. I'm using Edge as a browser, which is the last one here mentioned, and you can see some other not that interesting things from my browser that I sent to the server. Now I'm running through a VPN right now, which is gonna be this program here, ExpressVPN, and I connected to USA VPN, so I do not expose my normal IP address. So what I could do now is say, okay, so this is the HTTP protocol, so this is just clear text, I can see it, I have no decryption, anything running to decrypt whatever thing, even though if this was HTTPS, this would still be visible. So you can see on the top of that we have a transmission control protocol, which is the TCP protocol, which basically means, and this is a proof now for us, proof of context, that the HTTP protocol uses and utilizes the protocol called TCP because we need to get all the data. What we see here is the source port, which is my port from my machine. I'm sending the data out from to destination port 80. Now I want you to pay attention to the below here on the hexadecimal notation. It tells me that port 61,715 is the hexadecimal notation of F113 as the blue mark down here, the blue mark area indicates. And basically the next one is 0051, which is the number 80. Now we know, well, I don't know if you know, but the maximum achievable number in port is 65,535. And that is the largest number that can be created with 2 bytes. That is the reason that is the max number. So in the protocol TCP, they allocated 2 bytes for you, well, for the program, for programmers, for whatever, to indicate the minimum and the maximum port number. That's the same for source and destination port. And you can see all the other things which is in the TCP protocol if you want to look at that, you can do that. And I'm not going to go through all of these things because some of them I barely remember. The most important part for me is to understand how the protocol works, and this is the proof of concept. If you scroll down a bit, you can also see some flags and so on, and the calculated checksum and whatever is needed for us to do this. Now, we also know that on the on the network layer, I'm sorry, it was the transport layer, the transmission control protocol. On the network layer, we have the IP protocol version 4, and this is the actual IP addresses that I'm using. The source address, which is some weird number that I've, probably, in the United States, I could go to my browser and to Google like this and write stuff like, what is my IP, or what is my up, and I get this number there, and basically that is not the number you see here. Maybe my IP changed since, it doesn't really matter, but just for you to know that the source and the destination are going to be you, and destination is the web page 93.191.156.99. So if I go to the browser and just open a new tab and type 9.3, and sorry for the delay, 1.6.99, I should get to the actual direct web server attempt. Oh my. Okay, so they actually implemented something that I cannot do this. So basically, it should almost always work. It works with Google, I can tell you. So I don't know why they did this, but they have some. Well, they would like us to type in. So, anyways, I'm not going to do that. So, all right. So that is the IP protocol containing the destination and the source IP protocols, the IP addresses. And the next one is going to be the data link layer. It's going to be the Ethernet protocol, and here we can see that the MAC addresses. That's probably going to be my MAC address for my network card. Not really important or anything, but it is quite just there. And the last one is the frame, and there we can see other interesting stuff like the interface ID, the encapsulation type, and so on and so on. Now, this is just the request. The response below here is a quite more interesting one. So I'm going to click this, the package 19499 in my Wireshark scope. So the hypertext protocol basically tells me that, so you requested this, and I'm gonna say we have a HTTP 101 304 not modified. I find this quite interesting because usually you get a 200 back. This is a successful request. So if we go to the browser, to let's say Google again, and type in the HTTP protocol and say response code 304, and let's just go read about that on not modified. It tells us that the HTTP 304 not modified client redirection response code indicates that there is no need to retransmit the requested resource. It is an implicit redirection to a cached resource that happens when the request method is safe, like a get or a head request. Alright, so they do have some very interesting thing going on their web page, because it's a very simple web page, and I'm not really sure what they did. Anyways, this is what it means. And we do get the date and the server. It's an Apache server they run. They run PHP 564. Now, already now, as a security person, when I see this and I get this back from the server, I'm thinking, oh, I think there might be some security issues with some of the APIs. They might even use the very old MySQL API that is deprecated and removed from a long time ago from the PHP engine. So I'm just saying that just reading whatever you get back from the server can be a clear indication of if they have security in their mind and did they do it the right way. The interesting part is that we also get back some other interesting facts here. Let's see. The E tag is also not removed. Yep. Alright, so that is what we get back, and basically that is a response. We also have a TCP protocol response here from the opposite port, so basically it's just saying that they send from port 80 to our 61,715. If we go to the request, we see that It is the same port 61,715 that is our source port, which is now their destination port. So you can see that this actually works together in a certain way. We can see that the TCP protocol also got the same address, just swapped for the source and destination IP. And we can also see the same thing going on there and there. So this is basically the proof of concept that whenever you do network theory, you can go ahead and find some HTTP website and just read the traffic, and from that you can understand many different things. Now, what I told you so far is not that advanced, and I didn't really go into any great or big details. What I hope you sit back with is a clear understanding of that this is not rocket science. It is clear text. You can read it. You can actually just analyze it for as long as you need. So in between these packages, I'm gonna say, let's remember the number 19163. Let's just remove the HTTP traffic and go to this. The view is a bit weird. 193. Yeah. What I kind of wanted you to see is the, if I can find it, let's see. Is that when you connect to a service using the TCP protocol, you are using the three-way handshake. So basically, you should be able to see that. Let me just see if I can find it. It's the yeah, it's gonna look a little weird, but I'm just gonna pause the video so you can change the view of this up here, because it is different from what I'm used to looking at. So just a moment, please. Yeah, so this is a new version of Wireshark, and they changed something. Usually you can see some other information on this line here, and then it's more easy to show the three-way handshake. So I'm gonna try and someday maybe create a new video about that, but until so far I think it is sufficient so far what I showed you about how to use Wireshark, how to use the filter. Type in HTTP if you want to look at the HTTP traffic. You can type in TCP or UDP, whatever kind of traffic you would like to see, the protocol of course, and how the different protocols, the HTTP, TCP, the IP protocol, and Ethernet worked, and you can see that this is just clear text going on. So I hope you liked the video, and please consider to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below if you have any questions. Bye.